Take one. I swear, yo. Alright, Martian. Yeah. Check. This what happens when you tell a genius to dumb it down. It's coming full circle, I don't fuck around. I've been on a mission trying to make you and your mama proud. Saying I got tunnel vision? No shit, spent 5 years underground. It's half past time to get my dance on. Punch a fucking DJ if he doesn't know my damn song. Hands down my pants like she holding it for ransom. Went to bed with Marilyn Monroe, woke up with Marilyn Manson. Drinking weed, smoking booze, hangover is overdue. Show's about to open soon and I ain't got no pants on. Flashing fans on Instagram, forgot I had the cam on. Finally give us something all these fans can get their hands on. Used to be a loser, I was stuck in my computer. Always knew I'm making moves, but had a long way to go. Okay, but now I got a suitor and her titties like a Uga. And we fucking in the Uber on the way to the show. Woo! What's good? Welcome to Discover Hip Hop. Let's go. Anyone can put out a song and go and have a great song, and they just put out a song and go, listen to it, it's great. No one gives a fuck. People get addicted to the artist, not their catalogue.
For sure,
They like the artist, their personality, the charisma, the shit they do and how they present themselves. That's part of their branding, and the things they attach themselves to. And I use like video game Twitch streamers as a biggest example. Like the most popular Twitch streamers aren't the ones that are best at the video game.
Right, yeah.
They're the ones that are most entertaining.
There you go,
So I think there's a lot of things artists can do to build into their brand. That doesn't necessarily have to be music.
Yeah, I think so too, man. I think that's what seems to be, at least from like looking at the scene in the time that I have, it seems to be what's missing from most people.
Yeah. And it's a hard puzzle piece to fill in though, because it's just like, what the fuck do I add to this? People don't know who they are. Like I'm pretty introverted. I like staying inside and playing video games and shit like that. It's like, cool, I can jump on Twitch and stream video games. Now it's a place for my fans to hang out.
And chat
shit. It's hard though when you try and incorporate other elements to your stuff in socials, whereas socials is very narrow-minded. You need to carve out your demographic, because if you start posting gaming content, they fuck your reach because they don't know who they're sharing it to. So it is really tricky in how you put it out there, but I think everyone needs to be whoever they are, making them the brand, them the personality, and the music is the product.
Have you seen Young Marta?
Fucking incredible. He's done a brilliant job just through crazy content.
Exactly.
Like high quality edits and pushing it out like with insane consistency.
The consistency in like posting schedule, but also quality as well. Like dips.
And he's got a video editor or two on hand. So like because he's got the budget for it, he can just fucking pump it out, which is such an advantage. But like him and his video editor Ollie Watson, I think.
Oh, is that who it is?
I think so. Yeah. Okay. I think like those two obviously sit and plan it out properly. They're like, this is the release. We're going to film 100 fucking videos around this song. Like this is the strategy. This is the visual we're going for, and they go nuts. And this is what everybody should be doing. Because like on the flip side, it's just like the music game's oversaturated. Like no one's looking for music content. It's so hard to get yourself out there, but also advertising's free now. And anyone can blow up on TikTok if you've got a fucking good song, good content, and you're consistent enough. It's just like there's never been more competition, but there's never been more opportunity.
Exactly. That's what I say to people. Like I feel like it's better now because it's more of an even playing field. You know what I mean? Like it's less about who actually has access to opportunities or who knows the right people. Like obviously that still helps and stuff, but like it's less so much about that and impressing the right people and so on, and more about your individual skills.
It's really, really tricky because I even have a bit of a jaded mindset where it's like skill plays less of a part now.
Oh, really?
In an artist blowing up.
Okay.
It's more about the hype and the environment they build in their fan base, the consistency in which they push out their content. The people who are successful aren't the people who are talented, it's the people that can rally support.
Right, okay, so what I mean by skills, not skills in music, but skills in general. Right, because, to be able to build that hype and build that branding, you need those skills. You need it's like nowadays versus before social media, now it's like a rapper has to have almost like mediocre skills in a lot of different fields.
Yeah.
Rather than just being an insanely good rapper.
Or the flip side, they focus solely on their craft and become incredible, and they build a team around them.
They get someone around them,
to fill in the gaps, which is what I'm pushing for. Because with the artists that I'm sort of like coaching and stuff, I'm like, it took me 10 years to become great at a lot of things. Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And I think I would have got a lot further if I just focus on producing and my music and just gone down that lane and got a fucking full-time job and hired people to do my visuals, hired people to do my, like, help me with my content and stuff like that. And it's different for every person. But I genuinely think that, it does pose a problem when, because of the oversaturation, because of the hype factor, because of the quick bursts of content and the like low attention span of our audience today, it sort of, growth becomes a high school popularity contest again. Yeah. Where it's just like, let's just get everyone talking, everyone sharing, everyone clapping. Yeah. Less focus on the catalog and the actual music. Yeah. More focus on the confirmation bias. Everyone else is supporting them, I'm going to go check them out too. Yeah. And it's a hard thing to navigate, because I know artists that are so incredibly talented with such great music, but they don't have mad charisma, you know, to get out there on the phone, like on their phones, and like, you know, be entertaining to their fans. The music's great, but they can't, you know, they can't delivery method that shit. Whereas there are some people who don't have the best music, but they're fucking hilarious, or they're so confident in their shit, and they're just like, you know, so on it on socials that they can have people talking in the comments, whether it's good, bad, or all of it, you know, they get more growth faster. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing Young Marta's done well, is he's created a lot of controversy. Man, you know, absolutely. He just goes straight out there and he says, if you don't fuck with my shit, fuck you. And he called out, you know, he did the Triple J Bars of Steel, and he called out all the old heads and stuff, you know what I mean, for hating on him. And like, to be honest with you, bro, like, this is not, look, if you're an old head and you're not a cunt, this is not aimed at you. But for any of the old heads that, by the way, I wasn't going to start, but we might as well have just started it, because we've been talking about all interesting stuff. We're already on it. What up with what's going on? But yeah, like, just like as a general thing, like, if you're an old head and you're hating on the new generation because it's different, like, fuck you, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just the way things go. You can't stop it. Like, and fuck you for trying to like crush the passion out of someone that's just pursuing what they're passionate about. And they probably grew up listening to your stuff, you know? I've had people that I grew up listening to their stuff, and they say like, and they've fucking like disapprove of what I'm doing. I'm like, fuck you, man. Imagine hating on someone for trying. Literally, bro. Exactly. If that's how you spend your time, it's cool, but it comes from a place of bitterness. It does. Like, it comes from a place of like, either I didn't get there, or, you know, my thing that I loved isn't the thing anymore, so fuck everyone else for trying to take that away. It's just like, nah, it's just, you've got to let the new wave do their thing. And whether you believe that it's more talented or less talented or whatever, it's like, if people are enjoying it and it's, you know, spreading positivity and it's growing the Australian scene, which still needs so much more coverage, so much more infrastructure, it's just like, it can only be a good thing, whether you fuck with the style or not. Exactly. You should be happy, bro. Like, you should be happy, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the perspective I have. And I feel like, you know, and the other side of it, if you want to sit around and like criticize like someone like Young Marta, like, you know, his music, like, I listen to it occasionally, but it's not my go-to style, right? But you can't argue with the numbers. No. He's got like 800,000 or something monthly listeners on Spotify. And it's completely justified by the work ethic too. Exactly. So it's just like, there's no way you can... And I love that he fucking gets back, like, he calls out people in the comments and shit like that. He'll make like response videos to the comments and shit like that. That level of petty is just like, it's fucking sick. And I feel like it's almost missing a little bit from, you know, people who get to that mid-tier, top tier. It's just like, they just back off from socials and the conversation altogether. Interesting. You know, they separate themselves a little bit because they're like, I work too hard, I'm going to wash my hands of it. It's like, nah, fucking stay in the scene, stay in the culture, and have a voice in that shit. I like it. Yeah. Yeah, and that controversy is only going to help you grow more and more anyway. Yeah, if anyone is talking about you, it's like, there's, you know, any press is good press kind of thing. Yeah. As long as it's not all bad press. You know? But like, if people are giving you shit in the comments, cool. Like, my favorite thing to do when people come and talk shit in the comments is either
I'll respond and say, hey, thanks, man, because you're commenting, it's expanding my reach and more people are going to see this. Appreciate it, you know, because you're helping me. They're helping me more than some of my passive fans who don't engage in the comments. They're fans of my music, but they can't be fuck jumping on social all the time. A hater's helping me more than they are, you know?
That's true.
Or I'll just send them a comment and be like, hey man, I hope you're okay. Hope you're having a bad day. I kid you not, I've had people jump in my inbox and then be like, bro, I'm sorry, man. I've just been having a shit day. I don't know why I was hating on you. I'm actually a fan. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Bro,
like, are you like, you're a fan of me and you come to my comments talking mad shit, and the second I go, are you all right? And they go, no, I'm not okay. So take a break, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I've converted a couple of haters to fans, like just by literally saying to them, just messaging them, going, hey, you know, have I done something that's like upset, you know, whatever, and then they just feel like a fucking cunt. But
they forget you're a real person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they're not, and that's the thing. They're not hating on you. They're hating on like they're just. It's not about you, the person. It's just about the content. And sometimes it's not even specifically about the content. It's something to do with what the content triggers in them or whatever. You know what I mean?
A lot of the time they're mad on their own without seeing your shit. And then they see your shit and you become the lightning bolt.
Yeah,
you know?
What was I going to say? I can't remember, but where do you want to start, man? Like, should we talk about Think Different? I mean, there's a lot of stuff I want to get into if you're happy to. I know we want to try and keep it a little bit quicker, but...
No, it's all good. I'm happy to talk about everything. Am I good to, like... Because I ramble.
Yeah,
I go on tangents. So if I stumble over my shit, am I cool to start again? You can chop,
we don't usually edit.
All right, wicked.
But
I'm just going to fucking nail it then.
Yeah. It's very laid back. If there's like specific something you say and you're like, oh, actually, I don't want that publicly. Like, I'm going to edit stuff out. But for the most part, I usually don't edit.
All right, bet.
But they're fucking sweet. They don't mind if we fuck up and shit.
I'm just going to fucking nail it.
Yeah, exactly.
Get into my like Gary V mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
No stuttering, no nothing. Just swear a lot and cover all the mistakes.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Tell us about Think Different, bro. That's I think what is the most interesting to me. Like everything top to bottom, like where it came from, where it started, where you are now, and where you want to take it.
For sure. So coming into music, like I've always been a musician my whole life, and I've always been, you know, lucky and gifted. I play a lot of musical instruments. I learned the theory, and I played in a lot of bands, and you know, I've got a lot of experience. But when I found producing and started to make my own solo music, it opened a whole new world where it's just like, oh, promotion, socials, video editing, you know, video clips, marketing, branding, all this kind of stuff. And I had no idea about any of it, and no amount of musical skill helps you through that. You can't coast through that. I started this long process of teaching myself bit by bit, day by day on everything, because I didn't have the money to go to like learn that shit, or you know, and I didn't have a mentor to teach me that either. So it's been years and years and years of like doing my own video edits, creating my own artwork, booking my own shows, you know, every kind of thing an artist needs from start to finish. Like I've sort of jack of all trades it. And then when I started talking to more and more artists who started asking me, yo, you do this yourself, how do you do that, blah, 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 I realized that there's a lot of artists out there that have so many gaps, you know, and it's free information and it's out there. It's just like no one knows where to look and no one knows how to start that journey. What plugins do I download, you know? How do I go from someone who's never video edited before to filming, you know, directing and editing my own video clips? There's just a huge gap out there in that education. And I went to uni and I studied like sound production, and I didn't learn shit.
Oh, true.
It was so like broad, and I learned a little bit about everything, and I wasn't good at anything by the time I got out of there. And I'm like, there's 30 grand down the drain.
30 grand.
You know, that I could have done for free by myself, and I could have done all of it in half the time if I knew what I was looking for. So I wanted to give that to other artists and just be like, create a space where it can be the mentor that I never had for a lot of other artists, but it can also start to become this community where other professionals start coming in and bringing their input in, and we can create a culture of free education, free resources, so people don't have to take 5-10 years to figure this shit out. It can be, you know, here it all is right now. You pick your lanes you want to go down, you educate yourself, you upskill yourself, and now you're far, like, especially today, because like the gap between major artists and independent artists is constantly getting further apart. When it comes to budget, when it comes to connections, resources, and because more and more people are starting to, value that independent lifestyle. People are doing stuff from their phones now. The technology's catching up. There just needs to be a space and an infrastructure for the independent artists. So that's what I wanted to create with that.
Dope, man. Yeah, that's cool.
Thanks,
and so tell us about like the space as well, because you got the space where people can literally come in and do everything, right? You got is that same one that was in the doco you had? Yeah, dope.
Yeah,
it's a nice setup, man.
Thank you, man. So I started the Think Different business as an educational space, and I've got the Instagram where it's all the educational content. Then I only wanted it to be online at the start. So I've got a big Discord community where people can come through, and I've just partnered up with Tucker and the movement as well.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be all working together to like build it even bigger, add more resources, education, start doing playlisting and getting a lot more hands-on with the artists. And I teamed up with a studio in the southeast of Melbourne called The Avenue, and I'm operating out of there now too, which means like, yes, I can do all the free education and resources online and coaching and stuff like that, but now there's a space where I can have artists come through and we can record, mix, master, we can do photo shoots, video shoots, have face-to-face real interaction kind of stuff. So it's just like every single thing an artist can need, from the inception of an idea all the way to a completed product of here's the music, here's the art, here's the videos, here's the marketing plan, here's the development plan, branding strategy. Like, it's all in the one place, because that's the hardest thing I found, and a lot of artists are finding. It's like, cool, I need to make a song. I need a beat. Go to that guy for a beat. Okay, now I need to record. Go to the studio to record. Now I need it mixed and mastered. Go to that guy to master. Now I need a photo shoot. Go to someone else. And it's just like, by the time you've like if you're putting out a professional product, you've gone through 10 people, you've put money in 10 people's hands, and you're an underground artist with no money, no fans, no recoupment kind of thing. It's just like, let's have a space where we can do everything all in the one spot. And while we recognize that, like, we're running services and, these services cost money, it's like, okay, then let's flip it and go, you can get these services from me, or you can get the free education and resources and upskill yourself enough that you can start doing this stuff yourself as well. Because I feel like that's the hardest part. The independent artist is a broke person.
Literally.
We're all struggling for money, and we're all working jobs to, like, make our passion a remote possibility. And it's just like, if you can take some of that burden away by saying, here's the skills and the tools you need to do some of this yourself, then, we're just taking that stress, streamlining their processes a bit, and just, making the whole process easier all in the one spot.
Yeah, man, I think that's great. I think we need that. How do you go about like putting that to the people? Like, how do you go about spreading awareness of that service?
There's no easy way. Like, I'd love to just be like, yo, here's all the stuff we're doing, everyone come Noah's Ark it. But unfortunately, there's no way to, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink kind of thing. So at the moment, I'm trying to do as much free education resources, like, info type content, and just like give it out for free and link in with other artists and other communities that are also trying to help other artists, like Breaking Bread. They're doing incredible things. They're putting on great shows for like the community, and they're taking over the live show scene in Melbourne, and they're doing it all for the right reasons too. And Tucker coming on board, has been really, really cool, because he's got his own ideas and he's got a lot of experience in the industry with fundamentals and all that.
For sure.
So he's got a lot of insight to offer. I thought it was going to be a bigger pop-off than it was. Like, here's all this value, everyone come running. But I think it's going to be more of a slow burn of just like, you do have to prove your concept a little bit, you know? Like, I've got all the value there, but now I need to prove it one artist at a time that this is what people need to start growing, and what people need to, have that confidence in themselves as an independent artist.
I think as you start developing success stories, like if you get someone that you take literally right from the start and you build them to the point where they do have a successful career, once you have that you can like use as evidence to be like, hey, look, like this is someone we've coached, you know what I mean? This is like what we're actually offering here.
Yeah, exactly.
I think too, I don't know, like, cause I've thought about it as well. I've thought about like, I've thought a lot about it, like why more artists aren't successful. What is it about each individual artist that they're missing to take them to that next step? Why aren't they trying to learn about those things? Because, everything I've learned, like you, has just been from my own research, just looking up stuff online, watching videos, And like it's all there, you know.
Yeah.
It's all there. So like, why are people not making that move?
There is with every single like community that it is trying to achieve something, there's always going to be a number of people that don't want to put in the work. There's always going to be a number of people that have that ignorance is bliss mindset.
Right.
And there's like, you would have seen it firsthand, artists that have been going for like 5-10 years doing the same thing again and again and again.
It's crazy,
Still social media looking like garbage, like dog shit quality content, like the same thing, or like just the way they carry themselves and put themselves out there, no branding, no real plan kind of thing. And it's just like, there are those people that, you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But what we want the conversation to be is, okay, everything's out there. How do you find it? That's the hard part for most people. How do I find the resources? How do I find the connection? Like we need, like what I want to do is put the word out there. It's just like, okay, it's all in the one spot now, you know? And like Oz Dollars is doing a good job of like, you know, helping artists. I know Take Flight are doing such a great job in like music discovery, and music coverage kind of thing. And it's just like, that's fucking sick. And they're doing it with artists for the fans and for the culture. I want Think Different to be it's not going to be a promotional place where the fans come. You know, and that's the hard part, because that's where the engagement is and where the exposure and the growth is. It's like, this is going to be all for artists, all for the independent artists. And it's like, that's why like growth has been hard as well, because it's just like, we're not putting out like exciting, you know, massive exciting cultural moments for the fans to come and engage with. It's just like, hard work is hard work, you know, so whether it's value or not, it's still going to be a grind to get people to come in and do the work, you know?
What do you think, how many rappers do you think there are in Australia right now? Like, at any stage, even if they're just rapping in the bedroom, I reckon there's going to be tens of thousands.
Yeah, I would say there's probably like 30,000 rappers in the country, and like 1,000 that are doing it seriously.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing, isn't it? Like, how many of those 30,000 are actually doing it seriously, or even serious about it? Like, even if they think they're serious about it, like you were saying, like, how many people are willing to put in the work? Like, if you could lay out on the table what it actually looks like to become a successful artist, everything that's involved, and you could look at it, how many of those 30,000 are going to afterward looking at it say, yeah, I'm going to do that? Yeah,
well, that's it. Like 30,000, like if I wanted to like break it down and like add my own, you know, like being pessimistic and stuff like that. Probably 30,000 rappers in the country, 1,000 doing it seriously, 500 with the talent to take it all the way. But only room for 50 to 100 with the infrastructure we have and our labels, Spotify, all our avenues of access being so far behind in the way they discover, the way they promote, and the way that they give opportunity, you know, network resource with these artists.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, man? It's interesting. The infrastructure is a big one, I think, because, you know, I was chatting to a guy, Raider North, shout out Raider North, from New York. Yeah, he's a rapper in New York. He's living somewhere else now, but he was telling me, like, in New York, is like there's this particular venue. I can't remember the name of it, but he's like, it's a really well-known venue over there for hip hop and stuff. And he's like, if you can get a support slot there, he said, I was lucky enough to get a support slot there. He said it's very hard to get, but I was very lucky, just lined up right. And he said, from doing 1 5-minute support slot, he got 600 followers.
Hectic.
You know what I mean? 600 followers. You could do a Chillin' It show in Australia, you probably won't get 600 followers.
I go out, I don't give a shit. I feel no shame. I go out of my way. When I play a big support show, like, you have to, you have to take advantage of that moment, whether you think it's cringe or not. Like, you're always going to feel cringe asking for people to follow you. But like, I know I put on a fucking good live show. You know, but people forget to pull out their phone and be actively like, I need to pull out my phone, find this person, hit follow, and then I need to pull out my phone tomorrow and find their music once I'm at home. Like, people are lazy, people forget kind of thing. So I will stop in the middle of my show back. By the way, I make all this shit myself. I do all this shit myself. If you really fuck with what I'm doing, I want everyone to pull out my phone,
Yeah,
pull out their phone right now,
yeah.
and follow this shit. You know, like if I don't see 6 new followers by tomorrow, I'm burning this motherfucker down. Like,
no, that's good. Yeah,
you have to. You have to be door to door, like real marketing with it shit, especially when it comes to the live shit, because you're really interacting with people in person.
Yeah,
it's still, no matter how good socials get, face to face is still your best opportunity to really make an impact and like really like sway someone to becoming a fan.
That makes sense.
And I've made it my mission. Every live show I played, whether it's to 10 people or 1,000 people, it's like I'm putting on a fucking incredible show, and I'm going out into the crowd and I'm thanking everybody and I'm saying what up, you know,
nice,
like make an impact, you know, make them feel like they're a part of it because they were.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, that's another thing you can do as well. If it's a smaller show, is actually go out and chat to everyone. You know, if you're doing, because you've been to some really big shows, obviously you can't go out into those crowds and be like, hey, you know, like everyone, like it's just too much, right?
I still do.
You still do, yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Like people who never heard of me want photos. It's local shows and like big shows, whether you like you're a headliner or a support, are so different in vibe with the crowds, because at the local shows, like everyone's just there for their homie that they're going for. Everyone's a bit more reserved. Everyone's a bit more cooked up, separated in the room. It's much harder to get a local show going because like, you know, it's a split room. It's not packed out. Whereas at the bigger shows, everyone's there for one purpose. They're there for the headliner. They're there to have a good time. They already know they love the music. So getting that crowd up and going and engaged is so much easier. So when the show's done, if there's 500 people out there, I get off stage and I walk straight into the crowd. Everyone that I saw moving, I walk up to them. Yo, I saw you wilding out during my set. Thank you so much. That makes all the difference. You know, people ask for photos. People want merch. Great. Even if they don't, you know, like if you miss that opportunity, it's just like, you might miss a few followers, but also like you might miss a hardcore fan for life. That's what the conversion really is that you're missing out on. It's just like people look at it and be like, oh, I feel cringe asking people to follow me. It's just like, okay, so you didn't get 5 followers. It's like, no, one of those people was going to turn into someone that bought all your fucking merch and came to all your shows in the future and shared every one of your posts. You didn't know it because you didn't try hard enough to fucking get that person on board.
Bro, sometimes like just as someone in the crowd at these shows, sometimes I don't even know who the fuck it was that performed, but I want to check him out. Like that has happened to me so many times. Like, and this is just a PSA for any rappers or whatever. I know you like to get really close to the mic when you're rapping, and that's great. When you're saying your name and your Instagram, fucking move it back a bit because it's too muffled, bro. I can never understand it. I can't ever hear. I went and saw Ivan News live, right? I went and saw Bliss and SA. He was opening for him. Fucking the best live performer I've ever seen. We were talking about this, I think, the other day. Crazy. And I saw him perform and I was like, I have to fucking know who that guy is. But I couldn't hear him when he said what his name was. And like when they called it out before, and then I never saw him again. It wasn't until months later I came across him on social media that I was like, fuck, that's the guy.
And you don't get as much time or like a stage set up to put up your flag with your banner and all that kind of shit when you're a support, that kind of thing.
True,
something I want to do, and I'm starting to tell other artists to do, is just like have your QR code and just lay them on the front of the stage. So people on the stage can just be like, oh yeah, fucking cool. You know, I was even thinking of putting it on my flag banner. You know, people have their banner over the DJ decks with their name on it. Be like, name, QR code.
That's a good idea.
Follow me, bitch. You know, like
you should, because then people way back can see it as well.
Can do it as well.
I like that.
Exactly.
Man.
Same for the bigger shows. You got a projector behind you. Take advantage of it.
Chuck it up. For sure. But yeah, so this guy in America, he's saying he got 600 followers at that show. And then he was saying to me as well, he's like, but that's like a good venue. He's like, but you can get up, he's like, multiple times every single night, 7 days a week in New York and do a spot. That's as an amateur, like no one knows who the fuck you are, rapper. And we just don't have those opportunities here. You know, there's no shows, but there's also no fans. Like there's not enough fans that are going to go to these shows. Like, we can't just put on 10 underground open mic shows. Like no one's going to rock up.
There's so many reasons too. Like think about Melbourne. It's such a big space. Like for fans to come out, they're coming out 40, 50 minutes to an hour to come out to a show.
Fucking half an hour, this thing cuts out, so I've got to restart it. So hopefully we only lost a couple minutes there.
Hectic,
Sorry for fucking dropping out on you guys.
You're good.
But yeah, so what we were saying, we were talking, in case cut out before I asked you the question, we're just asking, tell us a bit more about the independent music registry.
So the Independent Music Registry is Tucker's brainchild. And he's wanting to bring in a lot of artists and industry professionals to, again, give insight and give resources. But the main focus, like the first thing we're approaching, is Spotify playlisting. We feel that Spotify playlisting has pretty much gone just to the labels, as they have invested, they have money invested in Spotify, their partners. So the days of independent artists getting real coverage, real exposure opportunities, editorial placements and stuff like that is pretty much gone. And it's like, not the end of the world, because there's the algorithmic side of Spotify, which is actually a lot better. And it's something that anyone with enough fan input can trigger and start to take advantage of. So for example, I've been in 4 Spotify editorial playlists and they've netted me about 80,000 streams.
Cool.
I've been in 1 algorithmic playlist, Discover Weekly. When your song gets enough traction from fans, enough saves, enough playlist ads, you start Spotify's algorithms pick it up and go, we have enough information about the type of fans that listen to your music that we can start sharing it to people with similar interests. Put my song in Discover Weekly, 300,000 streams just from there.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like the algorithmic playlists are way more powerful. So where everyone's focused on, I want to be on Rap Caviar.
Yeah.
Well, you're on there, sweet. It's a great ego boost, pat on the back because the industry recognized you.
Yeah.
But everyone who's listening to that playlist is listening to it on shuffle.
Yeah.
Mainly for the big artists that are in there.
Yeah.
So you're not converting too much. But when you get added to the algorithmic playlist like Discover Weekly, everybody who's in the playlist is most likely a fan of similar music. You convert way higher.
Yeah, that's cool.
So the idea is, okay, let's build a community of artists, fans, professionals. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a playlist where we all add our song. We all submit one song to this playlist. And every single person who submits a song has to sign up, create their own copycat playlist. So when the volume drops with this entire playlist full of artists, every artist that submitted a song saves that entire playlist to their copycat playlist. Meaning, if we got 100 artists to submit a song, every song on that playlist is going to get 100 saves to their own personal playlist each. Which then Spotify's algorithm will go, this person's song's got 100 saves. And it's from individual, real people with real music interest really listening. So it's not botted, it's not fake. It's real artists supporting real artists, saving and adding each other's songs to their playlists. It triggers a Spotify algorithm, and Spotify's algorithm starts placing you in radio playlists, DJ mix playlists and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's a way to sort of go, okay, well, if Spotify is going to give all the spots to label artists, and if Spotify is going to fucking make fake AI artists, put them in their playlists, like their big playlists, and then recoup the funds themselves instead of give those spots to real artists, then we can game the system back a little bit. The difference is we're getting real artists and real people, fans of the music, to save these songs to their playlists. We're just doing it in mass, which triggers Spotify's algorithm a little bit. So it's the first challenge we're trying to break, and we've already been seeing success with it.
Cool.
We're already seeing like algorithmic playlists start to pick up our songs, even artists that don't really have any streams or any fans. Putting their songs in for the first time and starting to see an uptick in the ads that they're getting and the streams they're getting, which is really cool. And then it's going to start to evolve into, extra elements. We want to move to Apple Music. We want to move to potentially distribution for artists as well, because there's also a bit of a market in it. Like when it comes to distribution, every single platform is either too expensive or a lot of artists have their complaints. There's a huge culture right now of artists getting their songs taken down with no warning, no nothing, because they've been added to a lot of playlists recently. Spotify complains to their distro and saying, we think this is fake, botted streams. And their distro does no investigation. They just take the song down. Otherwise Spotify gives them a fine, And it's just like, most of the time, this has been completely organic. They just had a song pop off and Spotify goes, this is a bit out of whack. Nah, take it down. And it's just like, so there's heaps of complaints. So I was thinking of getting into distribution as well. And providing a platform where people can do it way cheaper, still have all the features, and have a real person on the other side to talk to, to fix the bugs or when it comes to marketing their stuff. So the Independent Music Registry is going to be a bunch of services, mainly focusing on Spotify playlisting right now, but it's sort of merging in with Think Different. And it's becoming, it's all part of the one community space now. So all the independent music registry people that are coming through are now getting access to the Think Different space, the education, the resources in there, and vice versa, which is really cool.
So how because most of my followers are independent artists, right? So how can what can they do if they're watching this or whatever? What can they actually do like right now to get on board, to help out? Obviously, it benefits them, benefits everyone else. What can they do?
Absolutely. Hit me, my Think Different page, Tucker, any of us up. We have a submission form because at the moment the page is still on private. We're taking proper registration forms where we want to learn everything about you so we know you, we can support you, so we get your Insta handle, your Spotify handle, everything. Once you register, then you're welcomed into the group, then you can start submitting your music and have access to the spaces. But while we're still figuring out all the bugs and making sure that everything's streamlined and all the processes run smoothly, we're keeping the main page private. And once it goes public, we're going to be pushing it to all the masses and we're going to most likely see a big influx. But we're still welcoming people in now. It's just a matter of reach out to us. We'll send you the submission, like the registration form, and anyone can sign up. You know,
Dope,
and we understand that not every single artist is going to be like, "Yo, I have information to offer. I'm going to help here and there." A lot of people have full-time jobs. They're doing their own thing, or they don't feel like they have much to offer, so they just sit back and shy. It's cool as long as you're a part of the community and you support the playlist when it drops. That's the only rule. If you're going to submit to the playlist, you're supporting the playlist when it drops, and you're saving that playlist when the new volume comes out. We do one a month, and in the meantime, you know, enjoy all the free resources and education. You know?
And you might just find, like, you know, listen to the playlist as well, and you might, like, it's probably a good way to network and connect with people. And
that's the whole culture we're trying to build. It's not just like, come and submit to a playlist. It's like, here's an entire network of artists, producers and stuff like that. And we've got separate channels for everything, where it's just like, here's a channel for networking, collaborating. Here's a channel for producers on the Discord. Cool. Also on an Instagram chat. You know, like, we've got individual channels for every kind of topic you want to cover as an industry, and you can just come in, ask questions, or have, you know, input your insight and have a full conversation where, you know, anyone can link up, anyone can network, and anyone can learn.
That's cool, man. No, that's awesome.
It's going good, man. The only problem is it's just like we need 1 million artists in there. The more artists in there, the better the service becomes, because we have more insight and we have more professionals come in offering their you know, their value to the space. We want to grow it to panel talks, you know, proper educational, like in person, on Zoom, you know, webinars and stuff like that. It's just like, there's 3 of us now, but, you know, 6 months down the road, it's going to be more like 5, 10. And it's just like, the more, you know, the more hands, the merrier, because it's going to mean we're going to be able to get a whole lot more done in a faster time.
That's dope, bro. I think that's awesome. I think it's cool. You know, we were talking about the other day as well, like, I think it's cool that Tucker is actually doing that for the scene, because he doesn't need to. You know, he's in a position now where he could just keep doing him and just cruise for the rest of it, you know. But it's cool to see that he still has that passion for wanting to improve the scene. And
I think that there is a little bit of a subculture with our bigger artists where they're just like, I've done all the bullshit, you know, so I'm just doing me now, and I don't blame them. But I think that if you want the culture to thrive and succeed and grow further, then our bigger artists still have a role to play. Even in today on social, you don't see many of the vets or the big artists even just shouting out some of the younger blood on socials. It's just like, that's not hard. And it's just like, I've set a thing for myself where it's just like, no matter how big I get, like, I always want to have I always want to be in a position where I'm going to be offering help some way, somehow. Whether I'm shouting people out, creating playlists, or like whenever anyone hits me up, I'm writing them essays. Here's all the information I know. If you want to know more, join the Discord, we can chat more, you know, like.
Nice,
There's got to be more that we can do to like help each other. And this cliquey bullshit where everyone's separated, everyone has their own crews, it just ensures that no one grows. Support culture is the hardest thing to garnish. Support culture is like the hardest thing to gain in the Australian market, because like, we're still genre split, our fan bases are still split, the artists are still cliquey kind of thing. So building a real support culture around you and your fan base is hard, but it becomes so much easier when other artists start supporting other artists. Because when the fans see, if my fans see, you know, another big artist supporting me, cool, they're going to go over and support that artist too, and their fans are going to come over and support me. It just creates a much broader community where everyone's helping each other out. It doesn't have to be difficult to do.
I think that's the best way to grow, man, where everyone is helping each other out, you know. I feel like for a long time, and, you know, partly for a good reason, like, but for a long time seems to be very cutthroat, very like what's the term I'm trying to think of, like I can't think of it, but there's not enough pie for everyone, basically, you know. So everyone's like, every man.
There is. That's the thing. Yeah.
There is if we work together, you know. And I feel like, fuck, where was I going to go with that?
But I know exactly what you're saying, though, and it's big. I partially blame social media, like the algorithm switch kind of thing. A lot of bigger artists were so scared to be pushing other artists on their channels because they're scared that their fan bases are going to go over to them. They're scared that they're going to lose reach and they're not going to be able to, like, you know, there's reasons, but at the same time, it's just like, you see the collaborations when they pop off. It's a big moment for everybody. It's the scene, the fans, the artists kind of thing. It's just like, more of that because the scene isn't connected yet. You know, we haven't matured enough. The Australian hip hop scene hasn't matured enough yet, where it's hip hop is one big scene. Yeah, you know, like over in America, hip hop is one big scene, regardless of their styles, kind of thing. Everyone is a hip hop fan, kind of thing. So it's just like Australia. It's just everyone's a lone wolf and their little sub communities, kind of thing. Yeah, it's just like fuck that. Like
I think it's changing though, which is good.
It is. It absolutely is. Yeah. Just need to speed it along a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's awesome, man. So I think we've probably been going for a little while, but I did want to ask you as well if you have time, just about your own like musical goals. Like now, like obviously you've got a lot on your plate with all this kind of stuff. Where are you at with your music and where are you looking to take it?
For sure, man. I feel like my music's been forever improving, but I've been at a real stagnant point for the last couple of years where there hasn't been a crazy amount of growth. So it's just like my next step is, okay, if I believe the music is good enough, then something else is the problem. So I want to start tackling the marketing side of things. I want to start tackling, because I've like done everything myself, I've definitely made myself an island. Yeah. You know, where it's just like I'm not in the studio with other artists or producers, networking, making friends, building a community. I've made myself an island where now it's just like it's just me. And I have no supports, no networks kind of thing. So my job now is to get back out in the scene because I've got so much music that I've been putting out and I've got so much like great music coming that I can't sit here anymore and not give it the best opportunity it can. Yeah. But also there's so many people that I want to work with now because like when I started this, it was whack underground artists and incredible top tier artists. And that scene has filled in so much over the last 5 years with just amazing talent in all levels. Like I've never seen more talent in the underground, you know, that like I want to get out there and start collaborating with people a lot more because I've got so much cool music coming, cool visuals coming, that I want to, really get out there and just be a bit more active. That's the plan. There's no real like game plan or road to success. It's just like, be working with as many people as I can. Yeah. Not just as a rapper, but like, or a song, but I want to be a songwriter for people. You know? Cool. You know, worked with Pairs, worked with Seth Century, worked with Tuck, all that. But like what I feel like my talent in isn't a rapper. Yeah. It's just a songwriter thing. Oh, okay. You know, so it's just like, I want to be doing the Sia thing. The Pharrell thing. Okay. It's just like plug me in like a fucking lab rat and I'll be pumping out songs for anybody and everybody. Cool. In any style kind of thing. I came from like so many different styles that like hip hop's not all I do. You know, pop punk, rap, cinematic, orchestral, you know, acoustic shit, like hardcore metal. Like I write in all these styles, just that hip hop is the language that comes out of me the best. It's the best way I can express myself and, you know, what's going on in here or in here. It's the best way for me to get the message out. But I love all styles, so I want to be writing a lot more for other people as well. Yeah, awesome. That's the game plan over the next 5 years, is just be like, yep, I'm writing for everybody in the country, start writing for people overseas, but you know, my music.
So people can hit you up for songwriting?
Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. I think the people who know me, like the big artists I've worked with and the people in my community, like I'm known best for like my hooks. Okay, like, I write. I hate fucking like bigging myself up because it feels like ego and I feel like I like being humble about it, but I write good fucking hooks. I write catchy melodies, catchy choruses. Yeah. That's sort of my specialty. Nice, so it's just like, you know, that's what I want to be doing. It's just like, you know, I want Rihanna to hit me up, I'll write her a hook. Yeah, you know, someone else, some pop punk band hit me up, I'll write them a fucking beat. You know, like I love that shit, and it's takes me out of the spotlight a little bit, which is good because like the artist journey now is more becoming a content farm, and it's spending so much time advertising and marketing to your fans and less time being an artist and creating and just like making good music.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
Like if I could just sit in my lab and make music and get big off that as an artist, cool, but you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I love my fans and I love engaging with them, but I hate having to pull out the phone and be like, yo guys, what's up?
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
Well, you said you're an introvert, right?
Yeah. Like I don't like that artists have to be influencers.
Yeah.
You know, I think that artists should be artists, and the more time they spend on their craft and being able to be creative, like the better the music is going to be. But unfortunately, it's like 20% art, 80% marketing yourself.
Yeah.
So as much as like I'm going to be pushing for myself, you know, and take my music as far as I can go, like I'm 100% going to be pushing for being a writer for other people as well. Cool. And just like lock me in the studio and I'll just pump out hits for everybody. Yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I think it's an interesting time for music in Australia, for hip hop in Australia. So it's cool to see a bit of your insight on it. And it's cool what you're doing with Think Different and the independent music registry. I think it's dope, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I think there's starting to, you know, raise a light through the cracks.
Yeah.
We're starting to see a bit more, you know, a bit more input in the right direction from the individual. Because everyone was sort of like, you know, top down, waiting for the help up.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, people are just starting to like, you know, get their hands dirty and do it themselves now, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the next couple of years, see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, let me know if I can help in any way. I want to help out with the independent music registry specifically. I think that's really cool. And like I said, a lot of my followers are artists themselves, so I think it makes sense.
Yeah, come on board. We've got so much resources, so many different plugs for you guys. So come hang out, come chat. There's going to be some way that we can help you guys upskill and level up.
Yeah, dope. Is there any shout outs, upcoming shows, songs, anything you want to plug? Obviously, your track by the time they listen to this is out right now, yeah?
By the time you guys listen to this, my new song, No Questions, will be out. It's a fucking banger.
Dope.
I also want to shout out Breaking Bread and T, just because they've been really putting on for the culture, especially in Melbourne. Like the live scene has been so like dead and separated and everyone just doing their own thing, and I think Breaking Bread are really going to like take over the whole of Melbourne and be the guys to go to. So shout outs to them for doing it for the right reasons and doing, you know, a fucking good job of putting Melbourne back on the map.
Proper good shows too. The atmosphere is always great.
Always good, man. So
it's good shit, man. Thanks so much for coming on, bro. It's been good.
Absolutely.
Much
Peace
love.
out. See you next time.
Peace. Sick, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Legend, dude.
Sorry about that camera cutting out
dude,
halfway
don't
through.
stress. Fucking happens all the time.